Hi everybody, it's Chris Byberg, the director of the National House of Prayer, coming to you today from Ottawa. Well, it's been yet another interesting week. A lot of things happening all at once. It's kind of an exciting time. It's great to be in a prayer assignment. It's really interesting time. You know, last week we were talking about the biggest threat to Canada was a prayerless church. And today I want to talk about a little bit more. I was at an event yesterday with One Way Ministries sponsored this event, along with Meeting Point Ministries and the Jewish Federation of Ottawa. And they brought in a university professor named Gil Troy. It was a very interesting time. We talked about it, listened to about anti-Semitism and how we can combat it together in allyship. So it was good. It was really good. I so appreciate our friends at the Jewish Federation and how we have been partnering with them this year. And one of the things that Gil spoke about yesterday, and it really resonated in my spirit, and it was essentially mechanical versus symptomatic. And so what I want to say there, so many times, or how about this, causation versus symptoms. So when you have something that's symptomatic, you know, like for me, if I eat too much, I will gain weight. So the cause of me eating too much, that's the cause, and the symptoms are me putting on too many pounds. I don't know if that's for you, but that's what my life is. So I have to be very careful. If I don't exercise, right, I get stiff and my muscles shrink. So again, it is something that is causation versus symptoms. But in the term of symptomatic versus mechanical, it's like this. If I have a flat tire on my car, I can change the tire, replace the tire, and I can motor along. I'll be fine. However, if my engine loses all of its oil, it will therefore crash the engine, break the engine, it'll die. That is a complete, yes, it's mechanical, but it's symptomatic. The system doesn't work anymore. It's broken beyond repair. And so often we can look at things as symptomatic and mechanical. So last week we talked about, you know, one of the greatest threats to Canada is a prayerless church. So what are the causes and what are the symptoms? So this is what I want to talk about today. Causes, I'm a guy who asks why. Why is this like this? Why is the church not engaging in that place of prayer? Why aren't Christians in the Word every day? Why wouldn't they choose to be fed but with the Word every day? Why are they depriving themselves, many of us, depriving ourselves and feeding ourselves maybe once a week spiritually? And you think of that and it's like, man, that's gotta be something wrong. So I'm asking the Lord, what's the why? Where are the symptoms? What is causing our systems to fail? And so one of the things I found, and it's found in Revelation 2, and it talks about the angel of the Lord is the Lord speaking to the angel in Ephesus, the messenger in Ephesus. And it actually says in Revelation 2, it talks about all the great things that they do. They persevere, they endure, they do great things, they fight the right causes, but they've lost their first love. They've lost their first love. So perhaps, maybe seeing a mechanical problem in the church, because I don't think it's systematic, to tell you the truth. I think it's fixable. You know, systematic means it's not fixable, it's broken forever, it's not going to work. But it's mechanical, and what is that way we could possibly fix this is come back to our first love. To come back to that first love. You remember what it was like when you first were saved? How passionate in love you were were with Jesus? So that. Also, you know, if you have a car, and most of us have cars. I've got a car. I like my car. And but if I were to let the oil run out in that car, it wouldn't take very long for that whole system to crash. And so often we are walking through life and we are not being filled up with the Spirit. We are not being filled. In Ephesians 5, it talks about be filled. Don't be drunk with wine. Don't be drunk. Don't get drunk on the things of the world. Don't get drunk on offense. Don't get whatever it is. Don't get drunk on anything else, but be filled with the Spirit of the Lord. And actually I love how that reads. It actually reads in the original Greek, be being filled. So this is an ongoing, perpetual thing that we do. We are being filled. And how do you be filled with the Spirit? You're in that place of prayer. You're in that place of daily devotions. You're in that place, in the Word, listening to the Father every day, every moment that you're listening. You're staying connected. You are abiding in the vine. So often we just sort of pop out for 6 days and join back in on the 7th. Even if we do that. So I want to encourage you today. Be being filled with the Spirit. And if there are your mechanics are failing, ask the Lord why and then repair them. Because do you need to change a tire? Do you need to fill up with oil? Is there coolant missing? Fix the things in your life. Ask the Lord, how do you repair this? And how do you get back to that place of first love? How do we do that? How do we do that? I believe it's being and spending time with the Lord every day. Every day. I was talking with a national leader on Friday, and we were talking about the prayerless state of the church. And he stated this, and I don't know how accurate this is. It's a broad enough picture, but he says statistically in Canada, most pastors and leaders spend 7 minutes a day in prayer and devotions. And I'm not pointing the finger because I know what a busy life pastors and leaders can have. I have a busy life too. So for us, for both Marilyn and I, it is. If we are not strategic, and if we are not intentional in our time with the Lord, it'll slide right to the bottom as far as priorities. So make first love a priority. I'm Chris Byberg, the director of the National House of Prayer, and we will see you next time. Oh, yes, and remember, every day is the National Day of Prayer. Bye for now.